Namaste and welcome to today's episode of Future Leaders produced by Today's Youth Asia. In this show, we discuss our visionary ideas, talk about innovations, inspire younger generation with the leadership qualities and nurture the concerns for the betterment of the world. My name is Rahul and today we have with us Mr. Shivan Bhatiya and Mr. Narresh Kukreja, who are the first mainstream swimsuit designers from India. They own Shivan Narresh, which is the only Indian luxury swimwear brand. Their trademark is 100% handcrafted, stitch-free swimwear lines.
Hi, I'm Shivan Bhatiya.
Hi, I'm Narresh Kukreja, and we have a swimwear label that's called Shivan Narresh in India. We're currently probably the first luxury swimwear brand that emerges out of the Indian subcontinent. Starting the swimwear line was just purely out of fashion. While we were still studying and finishing our graduation in India, we were very fond of taking part in design competitions and doing things that were beyond the curriculum and academic things. And one of the design competitions that we took part in was an Italian swimwear award that took place in Bali, and it just so happened that we won the competition. For the press at that point in time, it was strange that an Indian swimwear brand had won a design competition in swimwear. But for us, it kind of became the turning point. I think we sort of realized that that's something that we really wanted to do. We nourished that further, and we went, luckily because of that Italian award, we got scholarships to study further in Italy, and we then started brushing our skills technically in the field of swimwear. And when we came back, there were a lot of people who said, "You guys are stupid fools, and swimwear in Indian subcontinent is never going to work out, and nobody wears bathing suits here." But I think that's where the biggest market is, when nobody is doing it. And I think we're hoping that now when the industry opens up, and all our efforts are in opening the swimwear and resort industry in India and the Indian subcontinent, that once it does, then hopefully then business-wise we'll start reaping benefits.
Your fashion industry and our hospitality industry, both the industry meet the people, and where do you think both the hospitality and fashion industry meet?
I think that's, first of all, it's a very good question. Fashion and hospitality industries are two industries that are very complementary to each other. Even more so from our perspective, because our unique selling proposition for the brand is the fact that it's a holiday-centric brand, which is what makes hospitality industry and fashion industry even closer. How I feel they both go hand in hand is that fashion can almost be treated as a service that hospitality industry provides to its customers who come either for a vacation, for a honeymoon, or a business traveler, or let's say a city traveler. Hospitality industry apart can further be divided into let's say leisure, business, city, or honeymoon hotels. And in all of these segments, fashion finds its own placement.
India and Nepal have similar cultural scenario, and your designs are a little, to the seductive side as well. So how to survive with such designs in an orthodox society? Does traditional norms and value ever become hurdles?
When you say that India and Nepal have a similar way of thinking, a similar society that's slightly orthodox and conservative by nature. But I think the biggest challenge in this is also the biggest opportunity, because nobody understands our society better than ourselves. This itself is big enough a reason why we should not feel scared in building up a brand that gives women what they require, but it's also correct in its social and cultural atmosphere. all of you guys are young fashion designers and will be young professionals tomorrow. You very well are aware of cultural and social responsibilities that you have towards your society, that you must have within whatever you design. But at the same time, market has certain demands, certain needs that have to be catered to, which is where business lies. And I think as far as you can strike the right balance between these two, you'll always have a successful brand and a successful venture. This understanding, I feel, will only best be understood by people from your own country. This is one of the reasons why the Western brands have taken such a long time in cracking into our markets, and they haven't found it very easy to break into the Indian subcontinent, because they have such strong cultural values, and their product at times is not understood or related to by people here. They all love it, but they can't adapt themselves to it. And I think this is the biggest reason. I mean, this is what we should be taking an advantage of, again, in building up our own brands against the Western brands, that we know our own land more than them, and why not utilize that to come up with products that sell more than any other brand in your own country.
So I was going through your profile, and I read that you've been awarded with like a lot of awards. I don't know, since like you've got success one after another. So how easy is it to take all those success, like one after another, and to maintain that success? And what kind of expectation you have, from others, because once you are like going up, upwards, then there are the expectation goes higher and higher. So how do you manage all those things?
I think, it's quite simple actually. I think it just boils down to, for us at least, it's just that we do what we love to do, and whatever comes along with it is taken something that adds to your confidence, that asks you to continue to do what you love to do. And I think as far as our efforts are always in looking at it in that direction, that if there are some accolades, some recognition that's coming our way due to what we're doing, is probably just because we're doing what we like to do. And I think that's the best way to look at it.
We have never seen it as pressure. We've always seen it as a way that it's just they're recognizing us. And we've never seen it, okay fine, we have to be very now pressure to do the next collection even more beautiful, because we always look at it, what's next. We always think about how do we innovate the next collection. So if people appreciate that, that's just the way to move on. Yeah.
More of a challenge you give yourself, more than get a challenge from people, because within you always challenge yourself season after season, that okay, I've done something last season, this season what's new that I'm going to bring on table? And it's a question that you answer for yourself, I think, being very honest to yourself as a creative person.
I want to know is, can you explain what exactly stitch free line is? Because if clothes are not stitched, how are they wearable?
Well, as we explained a little earlier, it's actually a bonding technique. It's basically like a, how do you say it, like a double-sided tape, which bonds with the lycra content in the fabric. So when you heat it, it bonds the two fabric, and that's where you needn't actually make it go through a seam, but just simply bond it. And the technology is relatively new, but you would see it in, it's still quite well known in lingerie, where you see your seamless bras and things. But we have started using it in swimwear, and the wearability is like you can wear it like 50 times. It wouldn't go anywhere, so it won't rip apart. It would just stay there. So it's basically you're gluing the garment, but it's wearable. But it's very long-lasting technology. So yeah.
To be a successful fashion designer, at the first stage there is always a financial tight line. So how did you overcome with those things? Because in one stage, every fashion designers, they do get frustrated because of those things. So I want to know your experience about those things.
We also started with a lot of financial constraints, and when we had started, we had won a competition with the prize money. We bought like 3 machines, and we set up in a small room. By the end of it, what you do sells. If you're strong about what you do, will sell. So yeah, I know it could get a bit hard by the end.
I think in the struggle of arranging for finances, just don't start doing what you don't like to do, because you might survive in that period of time, but you will not survive long enough if you start doing what makes you money rather than to do what you really want to do. It's true that when you want to do something, money doesn't come instantly, but that's the testing phase where you should try to keep your expenses as least as you can, so that even if it's starting out from your own house is concerned. That's how we started. With one of the award money that we got, we bought 3 machines and put it in in Shivan's house. That's how we started, because we didn't want to have heavy rentals or heavy electricity bills coming in. So a little bit of manipulation of money you should do in order to do what you really want to do. You will always have an easy option out, which is to make something that the market demands. For example, in let's say traditional wear or Indian wear it very easily sells in the market, but you may not as a designer want to do that. You may want to do something that's completely different. So do what you feel is right. Money constraints will happen. Try to keep your expenses as least as you can, and just hang in there, because if you're truly good, it eventually shows up. I mean, we also had Shivan had a student's loan, and and we also had to kind of we almost had decided, we had a 1-year period in which we thought, okay, we will do what we love to do, give it a shot. If it doesn't work out within next year, a year and a half, then we'll take up jobs and start doing what everyone else does to pay our bills. But give yourself at least some time frame. Ask your parents, your friends, whoever believes in you, that give you a little time, support you as much as they can for a specific period of time gap that you give yourself, that I'll give this to myself to do what I want to do. And if it doesn't work out, then you can always do what the market demands, what the industry demands, take up a job, but give it a shot what you want to do. It's tough, but it's not impossible. I mean, that's all I could say. It is. I totally understand what you're saying. We've gone through the same, but what I can say is that life on the other side is much better when you've gone through that struggle. So don't get scared of going.
The first thing is the right idea. That's it. If you have the right idea, then everything works.
Eventually people will find you because you're doing something different. And there are a lot of people out there who think of different things, but they don't have the courage to start something different. So when you take a step of starting something different, there are a lot more people who come out and support you as soon as they get to know about you. So that's what it's about. Don't lose hope. Just hang in there and keep doing what you love to do.
You recently attended the Fashion Week here in Nepal, so what are your views about the fashion in Nepal?
Both of us felt that coming from India, where Fashion Weeks itself isn't new, Fashion Weeks in India also aren't very old. I think about 10 years?
10, 15 years.
It's been about 10 to 15 years that fashion started in India as well, and what I was told that Fashion Week here has been 3 years old. So considering such a nascent stage of your Fashion Week, we found that the elements were absolutely right. The direction was good. It needs more streamlining, But that happens with time. It happens in evolution of a fashion week. But the good thing is that in such a short span of time, which is just 3 years, we felt that you were just a few years behind our fashion weeks. And it's taken us about 12 to 15 years to come where India Fashion Week is right now, which is still finding its position worldwide. We're not really known to be for our fashion weeks, but for you guys, we felt that within just 3 years you've got the right elements working now. And what's even more important is that you at least there's a platform now for budding designers like you to start somewhere, and that's really important, because whether or not the industry opens itself up very soon for you, but I think to have a platform that you can bring your creativity out there is very important. And so I think we were very happy to see it, that it was all in right spirit and direction.
Since you have already said that you are using stiff-free technique, so what type of fabric you used? Yeah, you have already told that you are using Italian fabric, but tell us some more about what specific quality a fabric should have.
It's a bonding technique, so the content of lycra is very important in the fabric. So the fabric we use, if I go into technicalities, it has about 80% polyamide and 20% lycra. That is why the technique works, because it bonds with the lycra content in the fabric. That's what it makes the whole bonding. So, and that's what is also basically needed for a swimwear fabric as well. Up 20% lycra content. It could vary, it could be a little lesser, but that's what we've been using.
You told us about the holiday area, so do you keep in consideration all those essence and elements of the particular area? Say if it's in India, then you have in India also they have a lot of climates and all other things. Say for a particular region of India, you have certain elements, input contributed to the design, and then in other areas you have other elements. And what's your upcoming collection, and what's its specialty?
More than fashion, it serves a purpose, which is that it has to be an effective garment, bathing suit while you're swimming. Keeping that in mind, we do take care that the bathing suits that we make are resistant to a lot of things, like our bathing suits are resistant to chlorine water, they're resistant to sand, pilling, curling. In fact, some of the swimwear is even resistant to bacteria and
sunscreens, oils.
All the body lotions that you put while you're out in the sun, so your bathing suit does not stain and it always remains stain free. These are some elements that we always take care of, because at the end of the day, when you spend so much money on a bathing suit, it has to be performance friendly. It has to have a long lasting life. It has to be resistant to all these things to be an effective product. Beyond that, when we talk about regionalization of the same product, we do at times play smart in placing the merchandise, and merchandise does change in terms of cut and color and also style. To give you an example, the merchandise that usually sells out of Chennai, for example, in India, blacks do very well out of Chennai. So we try and put in black predominantly in the collection that sells out of stores in Chennai. Chennai also as a region women are not very open to wearing trousers. So we make sure that they have more sarong and other options and not trousers. Similarly, when we talk about Delhi and Bombay, women are more experimentative with their bodies. They're open to wearing more sexy bathing suits than Delhi, while Delhi is more conservative in their approach of swimwear. So while Delhi is open to wearing bathing suits that are completely backless, with Bombay they are more comfortable having
deep neck,
sexy fronts rather than the back. So it really depends. when we're designing on table, the idea is to design a collection that has elements for each region. And then we can tweak the merchandise for the specific collection. So the same style, if it's going to Chennai, we definitely include some options in black as well, because we know black does well over there. When we look at Bombay, Mumbai, we make sure that the styles have to be very sexy, because women are very experimentative over there. While when we look at Delhi, it's more Swarovski and more bling, but it has to be slightly more conservative in its fashion. So yes, this is something that each designer should take care of as well, because when you understand your region, your markets very well, your business results are better and your brand does better regionally, which is very important as a wholesome brand to grow.
And the collection is called Mosaic, and it's inspired by Kandinsky's work from the time when he was teaching in Bauhaus, the School of Architecture. So what he did during that time, the posters he made, so we've taken inspiration from that, and the swimwear has those lines. In general also, we love clean and sharp lines in our swimwear. So yeah, the inspiration comes from Kandinsky's work.
After visiting Nepal and attending the Fashion Week, have you thought about using the Nepali fabric for your designs in your other collection, except your swimwear?
It's such a great opportunity for us to come and see your textiles and your fabrics, and how we can use that experience with that textiles in a collection. I don't want to promise, but because we still have to see all the textiles, and we will start seeing them from tomorrow onwards. But very, very largely, we do want to get into resort wear, ski resort, which is holidaying in winter regions or resorts that are in the hills, and using textiles from a region that understands this at its best is very logical for us as a brand. So we will. We've been told that you have some excellent fabrics here, from Dhaka to even hem and of course Pashmina, which is world is known. So world over is known. So we will be looking at these textiles in the next couple of days, and hopefully you should see a collection soon coming out of those fabrics.
We have lots of beautiful fabric over here, and then you people are here this time, no? Do you think you are going to do any fashion show according to your collection with our Nepali fabric is one thing, and then what do you think? Are you going to do that?
We finalize the textiles that we would like to use for the next collection. You will see it in the form of a collection. Apart from, of course, once the collection is completed, it will be showcased on a slightly bigger platform like Lakme Fashion Week in Mumbai, which is where we showcase every season. As soon as the collection is out, I think online media is a very fast way for all of us to communicate with, and for you to see what we will do with those textiles back in our country. Incidentally, Lakme Fashion Week last year also started Lakme Fashion Week TV, which is an online television channel. That means that while Lakme Fashion Week is going on, you can watch the shows live on the internet from here. So as soon as I think the collection, we make that collection, we will definitely let all of you guys know. And on the day of the show, you all can watch it live.
I would like to ask, how do you see the fashion industry in Nepal?
I just feel that you guys should understand the potential of this country, where your fabrics are excellent, Kashmir and Pashmina and Dhaka hemp and all these fabrics. Maximize the utilization, and that is a USP which will become very important for whoever puts together in a collection beautifully.
Street fashion is one of the main things by which you start recognizing that a country is ready for serious fashion. because it means that masses are open to understand fashion and they're receptive to an industry like fashion. So the moment you start seeing the people on the streets are doing something different with themselves and they're putting thought, money, action in making themselves look better than the others, it means that there is a demand and there is a need and there is an aspiration in that region to cultivate a good sense of fashion. So you can easily see that. I mean, even when we were coming from airport until the hotel, it was so easy to spot good-looking, girls and boys and people putting a lot of attention to themselves and the way they dress. That's really good. I think it forms a very good base for all of you guys to start taking fashion seriously.
As a child, what did you aspire to become?
As a kid, that was clear that I want to get into something creative, something where I get to be hands-on. I wanted to be probably an architect or an interior designer or something of the sort. Yeah, that was my aspiration as a kid. What about you?
What profession I wasn't very clear about. I did know that I had a creative bent of mind and I was terrible at maths. So I knew that, somewhere that I have a creative bent of mind that I had to exercise. But I think I always had a sense of, I always loved to surprise people. And even as a kid, within your own family and your friends, I would always wanted to do something different, something that would surprise people. And I knew that whether I use that in fashion or I use it in architecture or product design, it's one common factor that was very close to me that I could use. It did happen that as I grew, I knew that fashion was probably the right field for me, and it just fell into place. That fashion was what I wanted to do, and I ended up doing.
Thank you for being with us. For feedbacks, please contact us at youth@gmail.com. Till then, have a nice week. Namaste.